Hello my dear friends, it's me, crossdresser Serge, or old lady Svetlana from New Hampshire with my short monologues about my life and my habits and my thought and my fantasy about it's my improvisation, video improvisation. I like improvisation. I don't, because when you improvise, you are in this time, you are alive. Of course, you couldn't improvise every day. Maybe someday it's a good day for improvisation, another day it's not so good for improvisation. But today we have, from astrology point of view, it's a good day for improvisation because sun and moon, it's now today have a good aspect of trigon, moon in Virgo, sun in Taurus, and of course I like improvisation. And today is a good day for improvisation. Yes, all my life I reading book. I like to read different author. I have read a lot of books, and of course not so. I prefer to books more intellectual, more complicated. I don't like detective story or some fantasy. No, I like books of history. Yes, and I want to show you these books. My best author of history is his name, Will Durant. By Will Durant, and I bought these books 1 week ago. It's the first volume of Will Durant about history, about the history of when the human society began to live. Look like not like a monkey, but when the human being became more complicated. About this interesting books about cannibalism, about how the people create states, and very I have all his volumes. Escape, just maybe I have no volume second about Greek and Roman, about Greek, yes, but all his volumes. It's very interesting person. He's American history, maybe a little bit primitive, but I like this. He lived about 90 years, and all his life he write with his wife so huge works about history of human beings. Yes, and now I'm reading these books, just maybe 1-2 pages a day, not too much. So 2 pages a day. At the same time I'm reading this Haruki Murakami, Kafka on the Shore. It's not so complicated story. And at the same time I'm reading on Russian language Andrei Bely. It's very complicated, and you couldn't translate it on English at all. He was an anthroposophic and very complicated Russian symbolist, writer. And the same another. It's a Tolstoy about his life, about his, of course. A lot of books I like at the same time. Readings, it's my hobby. Reading books, it's my hobby, and reading books, it help you to be more thoughtful and not so primitive. Of course, reading books it's not help you for your things about sufferings. Of course no, but it help you, of course. This look like cross-dressing. When you cross-dress too much, it's not good. When you're reading books too much, it's maybe all your day you're reading books. Of course, it's not so good. Yes, not so good. Kiss you a lot, my dear friends, kiss you a lot. Watch my video, and goodbye.